It's time to dust off some of my old Elementor tutorials for 2026, making some much needed updates and upgrades. And we're going to start with our advanced headers. First in this video, we're going to create a very simple and clean hide and show effect on scroll, just like this. But we're going to be doing more. This is actually the first video in a series of 3, and each of the videos are going to have their own effect that all combined into a really awesome effect. In the next 2 videos, we'll be changing the logos on scroll, and then we are going to be changing the entire header on scroll, creating a full effect just like this. And this time, everything is going to be SEO friendly. But for this video, we're only going to be creating the hiding and showing effect. And if you want to take things further, then you can continue with the next 2 videos. First, let's create our header. We are going to go into our templates and theme builder. We're going to make a really fast header. I already have my template set up here. Let's go ahead and drop in our elements. First, let's create our container. We're going to make this one go horizontal, and then I'm just going to drop in a few elements. An image, I'm going to put in the WordPress menu widget. I use this widget still just about on every single website because it is the best for SEO. So we're going to stick with that. And then I am going to add a button. Now let's go ahead and quickly style all this up. First off, I am going to choose my logo. I have one set up here. I am going to give it a size. I'll change this to pixel just to go quickly. Now let's style up this WordPress menu. First off, we got to remove this pointer and some of the defaults here. We're not going to do all the mobile setup on this. That's going to take a little bit more time, but once we get the effect going, then it's going to work just the same on a mobile. Let's go over to settings. Let's turn this to 0, turn this to 0. Then we're going to use our space in between. I'll change this to RAM and put 2.5 RAM. That's about 40 pixels. Now let's fix the styling up. I already got some default styles, or global styles, I should say. We're going to make this white because this is going to be an overlay. And I'm going to show you how to edit that really easily coming up in a second. Let's go ahead and style up this button. We're just going to put contact us. And then let's go over to style, choose our styles. I already have my setup as well. Text color, we'll make this black, and then we will use our accent. Let's go ahead and change up this padding. I'm going to put 8 pixels. We're going to make it a little bit smaller than our big button that would go in the banner. The left and right, let's say 16 and 16. You could convert that to RAM later on. I'm just going to put 2 pixels. We're going to make this a little bit more squared off. Let's fix our flex settings and then we'll add some padding. First off, let's align everything in the middle and then let's give space in between. Now let's go over here to advanced and give some padding. I'm going to change this to RAM and I'm just going to do it really quickly. So on the left and right, I'll give 2 RAM. I would be a little bit more precise when doing this. You know, we're just going to go a little quick for this tutorial. So we are good. Now with this, it's hard to see the menu, but this is pretty much set up. That's all that needs to get done. The next step is we need to add a class to the container wrapping everything. Here in advanced, go down to CSS classes and drop in this class. It's called Lytbox header. To copy and paste everything, go to the link in the description to my blog post that shows this tutorial. Let's publish. Make sure you have this display conditions to the entire site or however you're going to display it. We're not going to edit inside of the header template this way anymore because I found that it's easier once we can see the page content. And for some reason, it just does not work with the preview settings. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but it's never really worked for me. I have, however, found a workaround, and here it is. I do the rest in a page that I've already built. I just go to edit with Elementor, make sure we're editing the page, and this is my little trick that I use when I am styling and working with headers. From here, I could go up to edit the header, and now I could do all the editing while getting the visual of actually seeing the web page. I'm going to pull up my structure. You're going to need this quite often. Right now, I'm going to want to use either absolute or negative margins to bring the page up. That way it is overlaying. First off, let's go over here to margins. Let's unclick this. Choose whichever method you prefer. You might like position absolute. I'm just going to use the negative margins for right now. And you're going to notice some things aren't showing. I'm just going to pull it up until it's flush. and go to the Z index and give it something like 100. And now it's going to lay on top. Let's go ahead and publish. And now we need to go to the back end. For this next part, you're going to want to use a code management plugin. Now, I know we could add code directly into Elementor's builder, but it gets really messy. It's hard to organize. And when we start doing things advanced like this, we want to make sure we keep it clean and organized. I recommend Fluent Snippets for something free. There's no pro version to this, and it has everything you need, plus it's easy to manage and organize. But if you have another code management plugin that you use, go ahead and use that. First, let's create a new snippet. You just click on here, new snippet, and choose JavaScript. But I've already created mine, so I'm going to just open the one that I created. This one is called Header Scroll Effects JS. Then we are going to copy and paste this code snippet directly inside here, update the snippet, and activate. Now let's go ahead back to our code snippets and create another one. And this one is going to be for our header scroll CSS. Do the same thing, copy and paste it in here, update the snippet, and make sure it is activated. Now let's go back over to our front end. And right out the gate, it's going to be working. When we scroll down, you can see it slides up and down. You're going to notice that some of it is being cut off by the admin bar, but that is only for those of us in admin view. This is not going to show to your end users. To get a view of what your end users are going to see, go to customize. Let's hide the controls. And now you can see how it is going to look in the front end. That is it. Now let me show you how to control this, because we're going to be able to control how far we scroll down from when it shows, and then also the background as well. So let's go back over to our code snippets. Let's start with our JavaScript. Up over here, you're going to see that we have a space to edit. Now, let me show you what this means. First off, this first space where it's 1,000, this means 1,000 pixels down. When you scroll, the effect takes place. The menu scrolls down. Like if we were to change this to, let's say, 100, the effect would take place immediately. This next line right here is to control the speed of the animation. Maybe you wanted to flow a little bit slower. We could change this to 380 milliseconds. Let's update that, and it should be a lot slower. Let's scroll down, and there we go. You can see now it's a lot slower, so you got full control over the speed. Let me change this back to 180. Now this part, because sometimes you might use an overlay header just like what we have here, having the actual header overlaying on top of the banner. Well, this is going to be a bit different if you just have a bar. Now, if you don't have the overlay effect and it is just a header bar, what you would do here is change this from true to false. That is it. And this will prevent any weird kind of jump issues you might have. And one final thing is the background. If we go now to our header scroll CSS, right here we have our options for the background. So you're going to want to get your branding on point, and you're going to want to make sure you get the right background color. Now, a way to get this RGBA, I use Figma for it. Let's say I got a background color here. Let's select something from my brand colors. We'll go with this neutral color. Unclick that. Let's go to fill, and then I could change this to about maybe 75%, and then make sure it's on RGBA. By default, it's going to be on hex code, but to get your RGBA, now you're going to see, okay, we got 18, 22, 30 at 75. And that is how I got my values here. Also, the blur, the higher the pixel, the more blur. This way you could get a bit of that frosted effect that is really popular right now, that glass style effect. And then we could also put in a box shadow. If you do not want to use a background, maybe you already have your background bar set and you don't want to mess with it, well, you would just comment this bottom section out, and by commenting, you just put the slash, asterisk, close it with the asterisk and slash, and then it will remove that background completely. And again, all of the code snippets are all going to be found in the description of this video, a link taking you over to the blog. No catches, no signups needed. Just have fun, create something super cool, super awesome. Give something unique to your website's experience. The next video is coming out in a few days. That one's going to be changing logos on scroll, followed by changing headers on scroll. So if you want to stay updated and get notified, then definitely do that good YouTube stuff. You know the deal. Subscribe, like, all that, and that way you'll get notified. And if you are watching this at a later date, I will link up the following 2 videos, part 2 and 3, inside of the video description. Well, that wraps up this tutorial. If you do have any questions, definitely drop them inside of the comments. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.